Hello and welcome back to another episode of How She Does It. I'm so excited because today's my birthday. In honor of me turning 29, I wanted to really dive in and talk about the ways that you can invest in yourself that are tangible, that are going to produce healthy results for you and for your future. So there are really 8 big categories that you can decide to invest in yourself that are going to produce positive results. And those categories are education, health and wellness, personal development, networking, financial planning, time management, hobbies, and self-care. When you think about all the things that you can do and all of the ways that you can invest in yourself, pretty much anything that you do can break down into one of those 8 categories. I think when people talk today about investing in yourself, so many people fall to the self-care category. They talk about the baths and the things that you can do at home and how you can just really nurture yourself and your body and how you can take care of yourself that way. And while all of that's great, it's only one category in which you can actually invest in yourself. And self-care gets a lot of airspace on the internet because I think it's fancy and people can spend money. And so brands love to play into that. But really, it's so easy to get little moments of self-care in throughout your day. I first want to talk about the number one most important thing that you can do, which is the education portion of investing in yourself. Because I think that as an adult, once you get a little bit older and you're out of school, you're out of your post-secondary, sometimes that education portion can slip and it's actually more attainable to bring that education aspect back into your life. 3 easy ways that I love to introduce education into my week to make sure that I'm always stimulating my brain, make sure that I'm always learning and moving the needle so that I can be better and brighter. I always buy books. I won't even look at the cost of a book because for me, that's part of my rich life. To me, books are the fastest way to get condensed information so that you can be the best version of yourself. Second, I have a masterclass pass. I love YouTube and podcasts and getting my information in those ways. But Masterclass is such a great platform that helps you to find things like you can find hobbies in there, but you can also find just experts on anything that you're wanting to learn about. And something that's so key is getting information from people who have already done the work. Have them tell you the results, have them tell you all of the things that they've learned so you don't have to go through the 10-year-long process of understanding the trials and tribulations of their specific craft. Get the knowledge from them that they're willingly giving to you at an accessible cost. And the third way that I love to invest in myself is through courses. Now, there can be a lot of gimmicky courses on the internet. So I really follow and deep dive into the people who I'm buying these courses from, and I have yet to be disappointed. I've spent anywhere from $950 to $5,000 on a single course. And all of those not only help to educate me, to learn from experts in the space, but they also help to virtually put me in rooms of people who think like me, who want to elevate to that next level, and who want to become the best versions of themselves. I have yet to regret a purchase that is educational, that is investing in myself. Not one. I've regretted some Sephora purchases. I've regretted some clothing purchases, but never an educational investment in me. I always feel good about those. The next space that you really want to get good at investing in yourself is your health and your wellness. I'm reading the book right now, Outlive: The Art of Science and Longevity. And what it's taught me is that we can live long, but who cares if we live long if we don't have our health? If we're old and gray and sick, it doesn't matter. We're not going to want to be here. What we want to do is increase our health span. And that starts today. That starts now at the age that you're at. Building out a health plan for yourself, buying the gym membership, and committing to yourself so that you can be the healthiest version of yourself. And I think as you get older, understanding that what health and wellness looks like might change and really staying true to what feels good for you and for your body. It's easy to look online and find all of these fitness influencers who are doing these extreme plans, and that might work for them. That might work for some of their following, but that might not always work for you. And so figuring out a health and wellness plan that actually works with you, that fits with your life, that's manageable, that's attainable, and that can get you to your goal is so much more important than following somebody else's plan to get the results that they got. Figure out what feels good for you. Is it running? Is it cycling? Is it yoga? Is it Pilates? Is it picking up a hobby that you used to have when you were a kid, like dance or soccer, joining a league? Getting creative about what that looks like so that you can get excited about how you're moving your body and how you're changing how you feel. That I think is one of the most important things to keep in mind when you're choosing a workout plan, when you're choosing the foods that you eat. Ask yourself the question, does this feel good? Does this serve my end purpose, which is being healthy and living longer? Because if it doesn't serve your end purpose, I think that's a moment of reflection. My vice is sugar. Okay. I love sugar. I have gotten rid of alcohol. I've gotten rid of anything like quote unquote bad that you can ingest in your body, but my thing is sugar. And I had to have a real wake up call moment with myself where I'm like, is this habit serving me? My sweet treat every day, is that serving me in the long run when I want to get to my daughter's wedding in 30 years and be happy and healthy and dance on the dance floor? Is that serving me eating that sweet treat every day? Sure, it's like a dopamine hit. Sure, I feel good for a second, but then my blood sugar rises and then it crashes. And these ultra processed foods are not good for you. So, having those conversations with yourself, that internal dialogue, and sitting with those thoughts is such a productive thing to learn how to do. Release yourself from the judgment of it and come into a space where you're curious. Where does that desire come from? Why am I not willing to give this thing up? What would happen if I did? How would my life improve? Because I gave up sugar for 45 days and I didn't really miss it. I had moments obviously where I had cravings, but pushing myself to give it up for those 45 days proved to myself I'm not addicted to it. I can live without it. Probably healthier internally. Ask yourself, what are your vices and are they serving your longer term goals? Because if they're not, that's something to question. Next is personal development. This is where goal setting comes in really handy. A great book that you can read is called The 12-Week Year because it helps you to really break up your quarters. And if you're in sales, you're really used to this, but breaking up your quarters to have quarterly goals so that you have benchmarks and you can know, am I hitting my goals? What does this look like? Am I developing in all of the areas that you want to exceed in? The only way that you get to December and you get to celebrate and you're happy and you're looking back on the year and January comes and you're so happy with the things that you've done in the past 12 months is if you have a marker of personal development. Maybe that looks like investing in a planner that you like or a book that's going to help you track your goals. Figure out a productive way to gauge your successes and failures for the goals that you set for yourself so that you can pivot before the year is over. So that you can pivot in June when you're 6 months through and you can have an objective bird's eye view of the things that you've already done and say, hey, the first half of this year, I did really great in XYZ category, but in ABC, I really dropped the ball. So for the next 6 months of the year, I'm pretty sure I've got the XYZ habits under control, but now I need to really focus in these 3 other areas to make sure that in December, you've hit the goals that you were really so excited about at the beginning of the year. Next is networking. Everyone's glued to their phone, but nobody knows how to network properly. This is a really great space to also set a goal for yourself for how many new connections do you want to make? Are you reaching out to them on LinkedIn? Yes, that can feel cringy, but it can also create opportunities for you. For me, what I love to do, since I've been out on my own in my own business, I like to go to one networking event every single quarter because that puts me in rooms with like-minded people, that gives me business opportunities, that helps to expand my network. It can be very isolating when you're an entrepreneur, when you're working on your own business, when you don't have any employees yet and you just have contract workers to have people to bounce ideas off of. You have to put yourself in the rooms of the people that you want to be like. And when you're networking, always have a give and a get. Always be willing to offer a piece of advice or a piece of information that's absolutely free so that when people meet you, they feel like they've gained something from that conversation. And then also understand what questions are burning for you that you really need to ask. And I want you to think about it like this. Imagine you're face to face with somebody whose business you really admire, somebody who's wildly successful, who you want to essentially mimic their success. The worst question you can ask them would be a broad one. How did you get to where you got today? How did you build your empire? Those are such open-ended questions. Instead, utilize that opportunity to ask a specific question. Ask them who their supplier is. Ask them who their first hire was. Ask them what their worst hire was. Asking a specific question is going to get you a specific answer. Asking a broad question like, how did you get to where you got in your business, is going to give you a motivational quote type answer that's going to give you 30 seconds of inspiration and then it's done. Versus if you ask them a specific question, you're going to get a specific answer to a problem that you've been having in your business or something that you're massively curious about. So don't waste your time and don't waste somebody else's time. Make sure that you have a give and make sure you have a get. Another huge area where people need to understand how to invest in themselves early on so that they don't make huge mistakes is financial planning. Now, this could be a whole other episode, but I think with financial planning, The most important thing that I have learned over the years is to pay yourself first. And what I mean by that is if you are in a corporate space and you get a paycheck biweekly, understanding that 30% of that needs to go to saving or investing, and that is what paying yourself looks like. Having an investment portfolio, pay yourself first in a way that's not paying your bills and not just sitting in a checking account building no interest. If you have a business, investing in a bookkeeper and an accountant so that those people can help you to really keep your finances right and tight for your business so that come tax season, you're just like, I feel great about what's happening. Those are the biggest, most important decisions that you'll make. And developing a habit where if you're in a space right now where you're like, financially, I can't pay myself 30% of what I make it a habit of saving $20 a paycheck. All of these things are about building habits because if you can't manage a little amount of money, you won't be able to manage a lot of it. If you have a lack mindset with a little amount of money, I don't think you'll ever be in a space where you're managing a lot of money. And understanding that your mindset plays a key role in your finances, I live by this every single time I make a huge financial leap in how much money I'm making. It came also with huge risk. Investing in yourself also looks like managing your time wisely. Understanding what you can outsource and what you have to do for you is massively productive. When people say you spend money to make money, they mean it. A lot of the time, you're going to have to hire people to do certain things that are not worth your time monetarily. A great way to understand what's worth your time and what's not is to do a cost benefit analysis. If you have an hourly rate at work, that's how much your time is worth monetarily. So anything that's below that rate is not worth your time. If you're a salaried worker, or if you're just taking how much money you make in a year, you divide the amount of money you make in a year by 52 weeks in a year, divided by 5, you're working 5 days, and divided by 8, you work 8 hours a day. That will give you your hourly rate. And then I want you to start thinking every single hour of your free time, is this worth blank amount of dollars? Let's just say you make $60 an hour. If it takes you 4 hours to clean your house, is this worth $240? Start asking yourself those questions and start framing your life in that way to understand what is worth outsourcing and what is not. Because if you can hire a cleaner and they can clean your house for $120, that is actually cheaper than you doing it. When you start to frame your finances in that way, what's worth my time versus what's not, and understanding what your actual hourly rate is, it becomes so clear to you what you need to outsource and in what areas of your life you need to free up so that you can get to the money quicker. And that's how you manage your time more effectively. If you free up 4 hours of your time, you have the ability to earn $240. Once you pay your cleaner, you've still made $120. I'm all about a return on investment, but it's really hard to measure fun. But it's one area of your life where if you don't invest in it, every other area of your life is going to be impacted. So pick up a hobby. Spend time and resources on the things that genuinely make you happy. That isn't something that can necessarily be measured on a graph, but it will be felt in every single area of your life and your business. And I really think it's important in this day and age to have a hobby or have an interest that is not monetized and to give yourself a break and a space where you can just be creative and have fun and there's no pressure. There is so much importance in that, in giving yourself the freedom of play, which also leads into self-care. I personally believe self-care should be an every single day thing. This doesn't necessarily mean a trip to the spa, although those are nice. Self-care can be your daily workout, your 5-minute skincare routine. For me, I love my magnesium water before bed. All of those things are self-care. Building in self-care throughout your day truly makes you live a more enjoyable life. If you look forward to having your lunch where you're logged off of your screens and you're just eating and you're watching your show or you're reading a book, that is an act of self-care. Build in mini moments throughout your day that are part of your routine so that you don't hit a place of burnout, so that you're pouring into yourself every single day. Because those effects will also be felt not only by you, but by your family members, by your coworkers, by your boss, by your friends. Prioritizing you in those mini moments, although it's relaxing, it also is productive. And I really hope that you view it in that way too. So to recap, investing in yourself in these 8 ways is going to help you elevate to that next level. Investing in your education, your health and wellness, your personal development, your networking, financial planning, time management, your hobbies, and your mini self-care moments. I challenge you this week to pick one of those 8 areas and pour back into yourself. Commit to it for the next 4 weeks, whether it's buying a book and finishing it, starting an exercise plan that's going to help you feel better, booking a networking event, setting a goal. Whatever that looks like for you, I challenge you to choose one and stick to it so that you can understand the power of investing in you and what that does. So often we pour back into everyone around us and we leave the scraps for ourselves. I challenge you to put you first. There's a reason why on an airplane you're supposed to put your mask on before you can help anyone else. And that's because to everyone else, you are useless if you are passed out. If I'm in an airplane and I'm flying with my daughter, who's 3 years old today, oh my gosh, who's 3 years old, I might be able to get her air mask on first before I pass out. Do you think she's going to be able to put mine on? The answer is no. She's not going to be able to help mommy. She's not going to be able to help me in the way that I can help her. So my responsibility is to put my mask on first so that I can show up for her, so that I can take care of her, so that I can protect her. Your responsibility to you is to put your mask on first. Invest in yourself. Pay yourself first. Build in your mini self-care moments. Set goals for yourself. And don't compromise on them. Build your muscle of discipline so that nothing can shake you. Because I guarantee you, if you pour into yourself in these 8 ways over the next 8 months, you'll be unrecognizable by December. You'll be living a completely different life. You'll be happier, you'll be healthier, you will be more balanced. And comment down below which area you're going to invest in yourself this week. I want to know and I want to hold you accountable because you're worth it and because you deserve it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.